A sad incident occurred in Nasarawa State where a bomb blast said to have killed about 28 herdsmen. The herders were reported to be returning from Benue State on Tuesday with their cattle, but hundreds of their cattle were killed in a bomb blast that occurred in the Doma local government area of the state. Perhaps that, in fact, is not the first of a similar incident that has happened, which we understand a similar thing happened at the peripheral of Niger State. Let's look into what could have happened and the real cause of this incident in Nasarawa State, where 28 people met their untimely death. I'm being joined tonight by the governor of Nasarawa State, Governor Abdullahi Sule. He joins us virtually from Lafia, the Nasarawa State capital. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us. It's good to see you. Happy New Year. I mean, this is a very sad scenario where you and I are speaking for the first time this year, and we want to commiserate with the people of Nasarawa State on the loss of those people. I know that you've called for investigation. Police have also said they've started investigation, but bring us up to speed. What have you discovered as the cause of these bomb blasts? Is it a bomb blast truly? What could be the cause?
Thank you very much, Sheon, and Happy New Year to you as well. I'm seeing you for the first time, apart from the fact that I see you every day at 7 o'clock. Yeah. I thank you very much, for having me on this and for asking for some clarification, because a lot of information on the social media have been going on, and it's not exactly probably the way it was. What happened was that, like you rightly mentioned, it's a group of Fulanis whose cattle were arrested in Benue State, and they went back to Benue, and they were able to collect their cattle after the payment of roughly about 27 million naira for the penalty, for their cattle going into open grazing in Benue. As you know, Benue has the anti-open grazing law, where cattle that are seen roaming, actually around arrested. So after collecting the cattle in a number of trailers, from Benue, then they came to the border as they were just dropping their cattle to come into Nasarawa State at the border of Benue and Nasarawa State. Then of course there was the bomb blast you mentioned, but in reality it was more or less, some kind of object. They say it's a drone that maybe been carrying out, and then there was an attack, through a drone. And it was a drone that bomb blasted them and a number of people, and all the cattle they collected actually were vanished. So it's a very sad situation that we have, but it's something that is being fully investigated, like you rightly mentioned.
So let's get a few clarifications, and I have about 3 or 4 follow-up questions in that respect. Tonight, hearing from you, the Chief Security Officer of Nasarawa State, you might be able to give us exact information that we need. Give us an understanding of what you know now about the source of that strike. Is it an airstrike or an accident?
Well, anytime you have innocent people killed, it has to be an accident, because I don't think any responsible human being will target innocent people that have gone in a situation like this to attack them. So it is indeed an accident, the way it is going on. Now, the information we are receiving so far, and that's why I continue to have these different meetings, including the meeting I had today with the entire national officers of the Fulani. I had the meeting today here in Lafia. I had over 200 Fulani leaders, the Hardos, and then the Mieti Allah leadership, including Abdullahi Bello Badejo, that came in here to Lafia, and we had a lengthy meeting to discuss about all the causes. And of course, all the people who were affected, by this incident, we are all here in Lafia at the government house, and we had a meeting today. Now, from what we heard was that actually there was an operation, and during the operation, so there was a drone that was sent out following some bandits And that is exactly what happened. So it is in the process of bombing the bandit, that these innocent people were killed. Now, what happened is that in Nasarawa State, as you know, we are beginning to see the return of some of those bandits to where 6 school children were kidnapped. We were able to rescue 2 of them, and the other 4 are still in the hands of the bandits around the border, also around the border area. So, and what has just happened is also in the same Doma local government where these 6 children were kidnapped. So there had been operations, in order to ensure that those bandits are kicked out of Nasarawa State and indeed other states. So there is a major operation in, I think, that the entire north central part of the country, because I was speaking with my colleague in Niger State when he said there are also similar operations in Niger State, where a drone also was sent, after the bandits. In the case of Niger, most likely the people who were affected were the bandits themselves, or maybe at least the people who were suspected. So here, part of the people who died, we don't know if the bandits were among them or not, but that is exactly the situation in Nasarawa State. But definitely a lot of innocent people were killed.
So, I mean, we're also hearing, we kind of now that you're saying that your colleague in Niger State is also confirming an incident, perhaps it's the same incident where 18 people were said to have been killed in Galadima, Kogo, in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. Perhaps that is the same incident that you are referring to. Now, so this is from the Nigerian Air Force or the Nigerian military. This drone?
I have no idea. We have so many operations here. That's why I just kept saying operations. We have so many operations here. We have Air Force Base that is operating. We have the Special Forces in Doma that operates. We have the Wild Stroke that is operating in Makodi. We have so many of them. So I don't want to point a finger at any one of them because I'm not sure what happened. But that is exactly, I think, the position right now.
So, but what you have linked it to is a possible linkage to the chasing out or attack on bandits. This was perhaps targeted at the bandits, but it came on innocent people. That is the true picture of things.
Most likely that's what happened.
Can you confirm to us the exact figures of those that have been killed in that incident?
It is very difficult. I heard you mentioning numbers of 28. And I didn't want to argue with you on that. The reason is because we have buried 37 people yesterday. That is what I can tell you for sure. But my colleague from Benue State also said that he had some burial yesterday in Benue, all from the same incident. So I will not be able to give you the exact figures, but I can only tell you the ones that we received in Doma local government yesterday. Got so kind of were able to bury them.
Can you confirm also to us, are these people Nasarawa people or Benue people or Niger people? Have you been able to identify, have the families been able to identify them? Have you been able to really put fingers on the identities of these people that have been killed?
Yes. As I said, they are Nasarawa people. They are Fulanis who live in Nasarawa State, who have their families in Nasarawa State. As a matter of fact, one of the elderly, the father of about nine of them were from just one family, So he came in. I was able to talk to him. I was able to sit with him and be able to condole him, while he was here in Government House. So nearly every one of them, actually, I think all of them, that we were from Nasarawa State, yes.
Have you been able to speak with military authorities in this respect? Because if this kind of incident is happening, those that are happening in Niger State, we understand that some of them are in fact at the moment be at the IBB specialist hospital where they are getting treatment. The military, we understand, has not come out officially in this respect? And if your colleagues in Benue and Niger State are giving this similar information as to this incident, there must have been some communication or interaction that you've had with military authorities. What are they telling you, or what do we know now, especially with your engagement with military authorities?
The situation with Nasarawa is always a very critical one, in the sense that, the TIP people are identified as people from Benue, and the governor is from Benue. The governor of Benue is also a TIP person by tribe. So there is always this misunderstanding that every time, there is an offense from the Benue state government, some Fulani people take it out on the TIP people who live in Nasarawa State. In Nasarawa State, we have TIP people living as indigents of Nasarawa who live in 4 different local government areas of Obi, Doma, Kiana, and Awe local government areas. And these are border local government areas with Benue. So, and that is the reason why every time something like that happens, the first thing that comes to my mind is reprisal, because it has happened continuously. Every time it happens, there is reprisal attack, both ways. If it is the Fulanis, they will attack the TIP who live in Nasarawa. If it is the TIP, they will attack the Fulanis who are in Nasarawa. So the first thing that comes to my mind is not really, I allow the security agencies to carry out their investigation. I look for assistance from them immediately. So of course, I was in contact with the highest authorities in the military already. But my contact with them is more of asking them for support to ensure that the whole area is safe, to protect the other villages, to ensure there is no reprisal attack, to do that. So all my efforts so far had been towards stopping further attacks, so that other people don't take it out on innocent people who are living in Nasarawa State. Because out of anger, some other people will do that. So to be honest with you, I have not gone down to start asking, which of you, the military agencies, did the attack? What happened? This and that, because I believe that's a professional approach, and they should be the ones to come out and say that. And none of them so far has claimed responsibility. So I'm paying more attention in discussing with them to provide security for the areas concerned.
It's so sad, and we again commiserate with the people of Niger State and the families of these people that have been lost in these very sad occurrence. But I'd like to ask you tonight, the issue of banditry, kidnapping, these clashes that we see between different groups of people living amongst, in these areas, Nasarawa, Benue, Kogi, and Niger State, where we have seen these clashes, herders and farmers. One would think that there might be some progress that have been made over the last few years. Can you tell us, there still existence of these bandits living within the region of Nasarawa and the Benue axis, and what information do you have as to the existence and the effort that have been made by military authorities in flushing these people out, especially that we're going into this election? Are there fears or concerns that you have in the existence of these very unscrupulous elements?
Yeah, Shaun, to say that we have not made progress is to be very unfair, I think, to the security agencies. And when I say security agencies, in this case, I'm referring to the soldiers, the police, the Air Force, the Navy, as well as, the vigilante we have, and the civil defense. If you remember, when we came into office in 2019, we came face to face with severe banditry, especially in total local government area of the state. And at the time, we were told that they were a group called Darussalam that were kicked out of Niger State that came to settle in 2016. And they became so comfortable that they now established relationship with Boko Haram. And I had to go to the villa quickly to speak with Mr. President, which I even made the announcement that we had those Boko Haram elements in Nasarawa State. And there was a joint operation. After the joint operation by all these security agencies that I have mentioned, then especially the vigilante that knew the area, they were even leading in some places to identify and show the other military and police exactly where those people were. And that's the time we had people like Bazamfare, who actually came in even from Kasina to come and lead the group. So they became so comfortable, and Nasarawa around Tutu and Nasarawa local government areas around Udege were almost impossible actually to move. Anytime it was early in the morning or in the evening, and sometimes they were bold enough to come out even during the daytime to do that. Now, after that operation, we even took hostage, some of the families of those ones that were either killed or they ran away. And if you remember, I had close to 900 women and children that we started now sending to different parts of the country. So we had a very successful event, and everywhere had been quiet until just about a month ago or so, when we started getting information that some of them were returning, to some of those local government areas. And since then, the military also have been up to date, in trying to target them. It's just that it's very sad and very unfortunate that sometimes during these exercises, you come across the kind of collateral damage that we have at the moment. But to say they have not yet made progress, I think it will be unfair to them, because we had made significant progress, and that's why a lot of our people are able to go to farm, and that's how Nasarawa became either this number or that number in yam production, in cassava production, in rice production. So we have taken some good positions where we are leading in some of those crops, in the country. So I think we have made significant progress. And I'm forever appreciative to the security agencies and the federal government, especially the president, for intervening every opportunity we had. But this is another incident, that is very unfortunate in the process.
So before I take you into another area of this conversation, and I'd like to know, because speaking with people in political leadership and people in government, we cannot just be looking at immediate solution. We need to look at a long-lasting solution to some of this problem. The issue of herders-farmer clashes have been in existence for as long as anyone can remember. As long as these two professional entities exist, there are clashes. But then there must be a solution, a permanent solution. Have you, for example, in your own domain, as a governor, thought about what could be a permanent solution, considering global practice of either of the professions, and how our people can live amicably amongst themselves in such a way that they can be productive and there can be mechanized way of going about their businesses? Also considering the cultural technicalities involved in all of these issues. What do you think is a permanent solution that we can be looking forward to?
I think one of the permanent solutions, Sheon, is one of the things we are doing here in Nasarawa State. When I came into office 2019, I came into a program that was developed, by the federal government and some international communities, especially the government of Netherlands, where we say it was NLTP, the National Livestock Transformation Plan. And then our government was asked to give an area, a grazing reserve that was going to be converted, to where all these headers were going to be located in that area. And then school will be provided for them in the area so they could go to school, and then feeding, water, boreholes were being provided, hospital or clinic were being provided, or this. So we only have one in Nasarawa State. We embrace that program, and we have one already that is functional. But it is just too small for the number of headers we have in Nasarawa State. Now, another disadvantage we have, which is advantageous to the headers, is that the border we are talking about is very attractive, to every header that is into open grazing. Because as far as from the far northern parts of the country, they all come very close to River Benue because of the kind of grass they find there, the type of weather they find there, wonderful for the cattle. And that's the attraction for them. So, but every time they come to that area, then we run into this problem. So we receive more headers than the area can accommodate. And sometimes now we have some of the cows that will run across the border and they are arrested by the government of Benue. Then we run into this kind of problem. So the final solution, like you are saying, as far as I'm concerned, is this kind of programs, the National Livestock Transformation Plan. You don't have to call it that. You can call it any other name. but we have to make sure that we stop all this roaming around of cows. This open grazing is not working. It's not working even for the Fulanis, as a matter of fact, because the way we are going right now, the type of feeding that the cows are having. So a cow is able to give you about 4-5 liters of milk a day, rather than all these cows that are going through a lot of suffering. They can hardly give you 2 liters a day because the cows are tired. The Fulanis following them are tired, and it's a very difficult thing. So I think it's something that government. I wish Nasarawa State is so rich that we can provide about 10 of these places. Then this problem will be history in Nasarawa State, to be honest with you. But this is where it is. That's the final solution to the way I see it.
I commiserate again with the people of Nasarawa State over that sad incident. I know it's not the best of mood generally in Nasarawa State because of that incident. But before I allow you go, Governor, let me take you a bit into politics because I know you're a national leader of your party. What is happening in the nation generally, and perhaps what your presidential candidate said in Ogun State, and for those obvious things that fuel scarcity, the price of fuel, and a host of things that are going on in the country, which is criticized. Some opposition is already saying that is an own goal. Would you say it's one that is too expensive at this time of the campaign, and how hurtful do you think that could be for the chances of your party in the next 29 days?
Chances of the party are bright. Like you said, Sheon, with what I've been going through in the past 48 hours or so, I didn't have much time to even follow. You will be surprised that today is Benue State. Benue State has no governor for APC. So I was supposed to play that role of the governor in Benue, when the Asuwaju was coming to Benue. But I couldn't even make it to Benue because of the situation that I find myself. So I had to send my deputy. So I have not had the opportunity to sit with Asuwaju and understand what is happening in some of those places and why he said what he said. But when you talk about chances, which is the one that I can answer you straight away, I have not had anything whatsoever that is going to diminish the chances of Asuwaju winning the election.
Governor, yeah, so, I mean, because I wanted to also anchor on this, there is that insinuation that there are fifth columnists in your party working against your candidate. And there are those feelers that are getting on the ground in your party that has some powers in your party that are not attuned to the Bola Tinubu's mandate and not wanting him to be the next president and not working for him. In fact, the feelers are that they are working for another political party candidate. And perhaps that is the kind of frustration that is playing out. These are some of the feelers that are coming out of your own party.
I had the one, I didn't know about this dimension that you are talking about the fifth colonies. But the one that I had earlier was the funny one that some governors of the APC from the north were not working for Asuwaju Bola Tinubu. And that's the one I came out clearly, to denounce and say that I will be shocked and surprised if there is any governor. If you remember, it will be a shame to the APC northern governors in particular to turn around today and say they do not want Asuwaju. I mean, people will even laugh at us. The reason is at a time of when it became absolutely necessary to take a position, the APC northern governors came out clearly without any ambiguity to say that we want this position to leave the north and go to the south. And that's how Asuwaju actually emerged. So to say that again, these same governors that work so hard and put their own names on the line, their own life on the line, everything on the line to say that they wanted a rotation, in order to have fairness in this country, to say the same people are now not working for a Southern president, they are now working for, so when I doubt that, but now I'm glad you say it's another fifth colony, so I'm sure maybe the governors are not part of that again.
All right.
So this is what I heard. I don't know. I'm here in the village. You are the one in the city.
But I know that you're a city man, a former Lagos boy. But it's good to see you again and see some smiles coming from you, commiserate with you and your people. Thank you so much, Governor Abdullahi Sule. Thank you indeed for talking to us tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sheon, and it's nice seeing you again. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.